differences is in the these are smaller churches by and large.
Right.
And their personalities often forced congregational votes on the question. I have not led you in that way. I find that divisive and unhelpful, especially at this time in the congregation's life. And we are, quite frankly, a different kind of congregation than most of the congregations in the synod. We're very unique. So, at this point, I think that would be counterproductive to get into a vote up, down, or sideways. I think rather what we have done is we've taken the temperature through the survey, and that indicates where we are as a congregation and will be helpful as we go forward with the senior pastor process.
Very good, thank you for the inputs. So that was pretty much it. And as usual, we ate and ate and ate. I mean, I must have gained 5 pounds at that assembly because you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it's at the cafeteria up there, and they spare no expense for you. So it's very good assembly. I thought it was very good. And like I said, the speakers and the union and the fellowship that we had, and especially, I'm glad you reminded me, they changed the format. Instead of being at tables like this, we were in round tables. We were in round tables as a congregation, and then the bishop led us through a discovery and conversation process throughout the entire assembly. We come back to it every now and then, where he had us talk and discuss and write down answers to questions, because what they wanted to do is take that feedback back and try and figure out, okay, where are we as an assembly? Not just on votes and issues, but where are we in terms of where we're thinking and our thoughts. And so we did that not only as our church, as our representatives, but we also would turn into smaller groups of 3 and do certain answers to certain questions. That was amazing, to have a dialogue as opposed to just sitting in a synod and putting up a card like this. So great format change.
I'm very concerned about the synod staff.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
yes.
They are profoundly beat up. They've been spending the year putting out fires.
Yeah.
The bishop does not look well, in my opinion. Chip looks badly. Gene looks pretty beat up too. I think.
Yeah, Chip and Gene have known health issues, so they're dealing with some afflictions. But as Pastor mentioned in prayers today, the bishop has dealt with a lot of change this year, obviously. Congregations who have decided to leave, 3 at this point, and potentially many others on the heels of that. So pray for them. Continue to keep the synod staff in your prayers.
All of them, yes.
Yeah.
Pray for the people that don't understand the pressures that they put on other people with their discord.
Right. Amen. Okay.
Can I just make one other comment? This kind of goes back to Dave Delaney. One of the things that I thought was really interesting that they did this year for the first time also was that they would take all of this information that we would take in our small groups, and then he would give them out at different portions of his speaking. And one of the things that he asked us was, what does the ELCA do well? And I don't remember the percentage that he gave, but one of the highest was the youth, dealing with the youth and the youth ministry.
Right.
And I think that ties back into Dave Delaney.
Right.
And so I just wanted to put that out there.
Very good feedback in that regard to the synod. Pete?
We're talking about the youth group we had this year within the church. Exactly the same thing. We had a period of being good, the youth program was really going strong, and all of a sudden had a decline.
Yeah.
And as soon as the decline came in,
Yeah, and I don't want to.
a lot of things.
Yeah, I don't want to take anything away from the advisors, because they work really hard. I mean, our advisors really try to engage the youth, and they don't do it just because, hey, it's a program, we got to do it. They do it because they see value in youth in terms of nurturing
It was
them.
both.
But, as Ramona mentioned, pastoral leadership, that has a lot to do with it too. And I'm not trying to slam Pastor Freeborn, but I mean, there's just a certain amount of time, as Kay has pointed out, that a single sole pastor can devote to all of these activities. So, and Pastor Bug was a young kid that they could identify with. And I'm not trying to put the pastor out the pasture. but I mean, there's a reality.
Trust me, I'm glad I'm my age.
Yeah, I'm that way too. I'm
But
beginning to accept it also.
There's another thing, another dynamic I want to lift up. life, we had a natural feeder from the school in which people came to the school, fell in love with the school, fell in love with the church. There is a generational shift. Approximately 60–70% of your school is unchurched. The parents appear to be feeling that, isn't it great our kids go to Gloria Day, they have chapel. Sometimes the parents come to that chapel, that's their church. They aren't taking the whole enchilada, and that's a generational shift. So I don't know what we do about that, but we have to have new strategies because we're not able with this generation. There's not that natural feeder, and they're different than the previous generations I've seen during my ministry.
And I could speak to
Okay,
that.
please.
Four of the confirmation class of kids that were confirmed this year, parents don't go here and have no interest in going here, but the kids are still serving.
Yeah,
And
with
so
that.
what he is saying is exactly right. The kids identify with Gloria Day, but the parents are not buying into the whole program.
Another
So,
interesting observation is your largest discipleship group is senior highs. I mean, it's just, there's some positive things going on, but you're not having quite the volume that you're remembering from the past.
but on Wednesday night, if you're bored,
Yeah.
come on down.
Come to the
I
circus.
mean, it is.
It is a circus.
It is. It is. It is youth night here at Gloria Day, and I think that sometimes all of us don't remember that. But if you're bored, Wednesday night, we can come. You can come here for entertainment.
Yeah, I'll tell you though, and Pastor Freeborn kind of mentioned this, is we're not atypical as a church, but we're in a slightly different league, I think, as some of them. I sat with, again, I tried to talk to as many people as I could, and one of the ladies that, one of the pastors, her church was 100 members, and their weekly attendance was 30 services.
Wow.
Very different.
That's average,
Very
by
good.
the way. That is the average.
And that is average. We're getting
That's what's
into, I think,
typical.
the average was like 75 attendance across the Senate.
So when we have 240 or 275 in worship, somewhere, anywhere in there, we're
Right, so, and the reason, again, I love going to assembly because it actually reorients me. Because for the other 364 days of the year, I'm here at Glory Day, and obviously we have our pressures and our issues and our triumphs, but going to Synod, you see everybody else's and what they're dealing with, and we're in pretty good shape, I would say. So, okay, what else? Synod, is that good? We got you? Okay. Good, Rita.
Well, capitalizing on your comment about the great food, anyone wanting to go to Power in the Spirit, it is not too late to sign up, and you can have an opportunity to taste some of that really great food.
Yeah.
It's the weekend after the 4th of July.
And then again,
Friday, Saturday.
they have very inspirational speakers and
It is
workshops.
awesome, an awesome opportunity. But my question is,
Yes,
that
ma'am.
was my advertisement.
Okay.
It was not paid for. Pastor Freeborn mentioned the survey results, and I know they're being compiled into this thing.
Yeah.
Are we going to get any raw data or
You will get,
from
yeah,
these surveys?
yes. We will, let me address being compiled into the MSP. The MSP has a structure associated with it. So, the surveys have informed the MSP. They haven't, like, one for one, you said this, and this is where it goes in the MSP. Because our survey, we had hoped to address a variety of things, not just doing the MSP, but also getting a sense for where we're at as a congregation. So, it's informing it, and there are portions of it that we can help fill out. What we will do is in July, I would like to have another conversation, dialogue, if you will, information meeting, where I present to you the results